am sick of Minecraft 1.20. Like, what even is a waxed, lightly weathered cut copper stairs, and why does it has 41 characters in its name? But what would happen if I tried surviving 100 days in Minecraft's oldest version, which we all grew up with? So day 1 is the beginning of not only our journey, but also our complaining. The fact that I had to double click the button to sprint already made me regret some of my life decisions, but day 1 was honestly very regular. Punching trees, chasing pigs, and digging yourself in a hole so you can survive your first night. Only thing that is different is that there is no recipe book that takes up half of the screen. In my little hole, I made all the tools needed and decided that it's best to go and mine since I don't have a bed to sleep. I found lapis. What? Upon the start of day 2 after leaving my home, a creeper attacked me. He was very much strafing, which caught me off guard. He exploded and the hole annoyed me, so I had to fix it. There were dogs and it just happened that I got bones in my hands, so I tamed them. I got 3 of them, we're like a gang. I also had to expand some space in my little shelter so I can build a farm. And while waiting, I wanted a bed. Like, I wanted it now. So I decided to go east from our spawn, and after only 300 blocks I found 3/3 of a bed. Day 2 went by pretty fast, so before sleeping I grabbed some seeds for our wheat farm. Day 3 I planted my seeds and added windows to my shelter. Last night I saw many mobs creeping around me, so I lighted my base. I don't know, man, this day went so quick I was able to only chop few trees and design my base. Since I can't really do much without any food, I went mining. The cave I found on day 1 was close to surface but was actually very deep. So much so that on day 4 I found our first diamonds while mining for coal. Next to diamonds I got a ton of iron and every other ores I got my hands on. Day 5 I decided to greet myself with iron armor, and this is because I want to feel safe. Honestly, I just want as much safety as possible, so let's place a gate around my base. First of all, I had to flatten the ground and remove the rest of the trees I left on day 3. The trees I chopped could be used for making fences. Even though the place is lighted, skeletons can still enter our base, but my steroid wolves are dead to protect me. It's time to continue building this fence. Slowly but surely I finished it, and with the remaining wood and cobblestone I added small posts and a frame as decoration to the fence. I slowly began to write a plan and divide the parts of the database into individual jobs. On day 7 I mostly worked on the sugarcane farm because I knew I was slowly getting closer to that enchanting table. Although the farm is not big, in this version of Minecraft you don't need leather to make books, so it won't take too much work. For the other side of the fence, I decided that it would be a pen for my animal kingdom. But we still don't have wheat to be able to steal animals from the forest, so until then I'll start digging my own mines. It was definitely weird considering that the level for diamonds is 12 and not minus 69, and the fact that I don't have to spend 6 seconds mining one deep slate. In the end, I honestly didn't even find anything. And while I'm in here already, I will mine some obsidian. The fact that you can't repair your pickaxe in this version haunts me. After coming back to surface and redesigning our gates a little, I settled on to make a nether portal. Making it simple would look very boring, so I made it a shovel. Honestly, this is a top tier decoration. One thing that isn't top tier is our nether spawn. How could you spawn me on a dumb little island? I had a tons of blocks with me, so I selected one direction and started bridging across this humongous gap. We still got hunger problems, so while I was in the nether, I made some soups. After wandering around after a while in hopes to find a fortress, I found nothing. At least the sugarcane farm was doing very well since I had enough to make 23 books. Which is still not enough, so we gotta wait some more. Day 11 was great since I was able to mine our first wheat. I don't know if this is normal, but it took 10 days for it to grow. Like, how is that even a thing? Most of the day I was mining trees because not only do I need them, but mobs like to hide there and I don't support them in that. New day, new reasons to use your wood. I'm writing the script and I don't even know why I made so much fences. Let's just say I felt kinda rich. Although that's a good thing, I'm still hungry. Breeding animals is much more profitable, so let's go get animals. I thought I could get all 4 animals to the end of the day, but no, it's not that easy. Every time I wanted to introduce them to their pen, they would become stupid. And if they did that, they would have a fate like this cow. Now they know who they are dealing with. On day 13 I did almost nothing, just brought the pigs into my pen. The only animal we have left to add to our farm are sheep. The problem is that in this version wolves spawn too much, like way too much. Well, when I tried to bring the sheep to my base, they killed them, but I also killed them. When I went to get a new sheep, the same thing happened. Wolves, be ready for a massacre. At the end of the day I was only able to bring 1 sheep and I don't really give a shit. Let's go back and take the other sheep. If this happens again, I really won't even bring another one. Okay, I succeeded somehow. Since the sugarcane farm was progressing well, it was time time to make the enchanting board. I had everything except obsidian, but it is certainly easy to obtain. I decided to put it right next to my portal. We still need a few more bookshelves, but we only have to wait for that. I was just kidding, I didn't have time to wait. And now the enchanting room is officially finished. The combination of oak planks and cobblestone in the OG versions of Minecraft was amazing, and it reminded me of castles. So on day 17 I decided to replace the entire base with oak planks. By the end of the day everything was finished, including our nether portal. On day 18 I decided to go mine. I enchanted my pickaxe and one big problem occurred. When enchanting in childhood Minecraft, it takes all your experience to enchant. This pickaxe better mine on its own for that price. Although it paid off, I had 27 diamonds at the end of the day. Because of so much digging, the chests were full of cobblestone and I had to use it somewhere, so I decided to make an outpost. The world is looking more and more like 2011. To be honest, I'm surprised I finished it by the end of the day since it's literally ginormous. On day 20 I felt rich and made another pickaxe, an axe and a full diamond armor. One problem we still have is that we got no food and our small wheat farm is not enough. Lucky for me I have an outpost under which I will build my farm. This farm will be long and efficient, and by making it in one line it will be easily expandable. After a full day of digging I brought water and dirt, but I'll keep digging because I'm still not done with the size of the farm. I came to dig. On day 23 I was ready to plant our seeds, which I didn't have, so after some quick grass watering our first seeds were planted. I agree, it still looks very ugly, but I will try to fix that soon. One thing I didn't do is explore. Since day 1 I made sure to make as much progress as possible, and while doing that I didn't have the chance to go and look around for different biomes and villages. Sadly, after running around for minutes there were no villages. But I found a sheep which I will kidnap. As promised, I decorated my wheat farm with some wood and glass, but one side quest was to find a spawner for the XP farm. So I mostly checked every cave I came across hoping to find a dungeon, and when I entered this cave I found a spider spawner. I was hoping it would be a skeleton spawner because of the arrows, but this is also quite good, considering that there was a saddle in the chest. But we still got no food. So after doing some land fixing I started making a path on the lake. Wheat is growing very slow, and even if we had it, it's still not profitable. I like using cobblestone, it's an OG material and looks very good on top of water. With some wood and pillars I finished it. This is more like an emergency place if we ever get hungry but don't have food. I spent day 27 arranging this hill next to my house because I plan to build a house there. The land where we live will be of different heights, but still very beautiful. In these older versions everything was about building, so I tried making a nice entrance with only using a small selection of blocks. Today we just fished. What can I say? It's the next day and I'm still fishing. Just kidding, that would be freaking boring. Instead I decided to connect a path to a cave where my spider spawner is located. I've used way too many cobblestone the last couple of days, so reasonably I ran out of cobblestone. I apologize, but I got a little sidetracked. For some reason I was arranging the stairs, which has no logic, but it's good. It is important that I finish the main part of the road. In addition to the lights, one very interesting decoration that I have been thinking about is the leaves on the side of the road on the water, and it actually looks great afterwards. Also, now we have a path, which means we can start making an XP farm. I really look forward into saving all the mossy cobblestone since it's actually a very rare and very good looking block. And let me remind you that there are no jungle temples in this version, which means these are so good for building castles and anything you can think of. After mining the parameter, of course I had to dedicate some time into making an entrance. It still looks very primal like in Stone Age. On day 33 I set up the water in the farm that will push the spiders, and I somehow got it to work. It may not look pleasing to the eye, but as long as I get XP I won't complain. I was quite hyped for the enchantments, but it didn't last long. After I enchanted my sword with all 10 levels and almost quit, but in addition to bad news we also have good news. The wheat farm is actually doing really well. Before I continue with the XP farm I wanted to replace all the dirt with oak planks, and after I dug that up I left it halfway, and I went to set up an enchanting table next to my XP farm. Day 36 was spent by enchanting my tools and my armor. Getting 30 level enchantments isn't even worth, because your tools can get broken. Now that we've finished the enchanting, let's go get some more fish before moving on to the next task. It's time to arrange this hill as well. Here I plan to make a station where all the important places will be connected. This decoration with cobblestone as a frame resembles a castle and is very cool. Although digging dirt is not that interesting, the end result is always worth it. Of course I didn't do the whole mountain, but maybe in the future I will. On day 40 I kept making the platform nicer, I even added a staircase to it. There was still a lot of work to do, but I decided to flatten the ground for the rest of the day. The other other platform wasn't finished. I still needed to put down the floor so I can build a house there. This took way too much of my time, to be honest. And oops, more problems. I'm not sure how I have no cobblestone at all, so I built a cobblestone generator in my mind. Here I just sat thinking about life and all. Next day I did the same freaking thing. Part of it I didn't even mind since my pickaxe broke. I think I was taking a piss here, but I'm not even sure. Since it's been quite a while since I picked up wheat, I was sure everything was ready for harvest. And I was right. The bread better be bussin'. Also, the house construction started. I had no plan and no nothing, so it came out looking like some Lego thing, I don't know, man. While I was slowly finishing, I added the rooftop to be a balcony. If it rains, we are done. Like for real, for real. And since I live here, I made another staircase on the other side. Who knows if it will be even needed, maybe in 200 days. As a little decoration, I also put leaves around the thing, which made it look 10 times better. One thing I had is chopping trees around my neighborhood. And in order to fix the population of wood, I started to create my own tree farm. It might not look the best, but at least we'll be able to expand it anytime we want to. On day 47, I continued to build a farm. Although not that big, I needed to place around 1000 blocks as a platform. At the same time, I started building the tower, which I will do later. The farm is done. I even put torches all around so no mobs can spawn around. Though I don't have enough saplings, the farm looks and works like how I imagined it. And the tower I started building earlier became a priority of the day 47. One interesting thing I did is that I connected the first tower to this one, and also made another floor to be able to see my world at the end. Although I'm quite far from slaying a dragon, I want to find a fortress so I don't have to later. In addition to completing a couple of achievements that exist in the nether, I can also get blaze rods. It took some time, but eventually found a spawner, got the blaze rods nether wart, and tried getting back home before I got lost. Write your coordinates, kids. With the blocks I took from the fortress, I started to build the laboratory, definitely my first time building this. But I'm actually surprised how well it turned out. Even though I've never built anything like this, maybe I'm crazy and I might be only one who liked this a lot. I even replaced the torches with glowstones, and everything is nether themed, which is really cool. One of the more important projects is to find a skeleton spawner for arrows. The chance of finding it is 1 in 4 spawners, which is very little, but I went in search of it. Another thing we are looking for is a village. It's boring to live alone in this world. I want to find some community in this world. On day 55 I continued with my search, but still found nothing. I even searched the whole mineshaft and found nothing but the little poisonous spiders. And well, let me tell you, I do not quit. I kept searching and found a skeleton spawner next to a village. This is actually so good, what the hell? We've got everything we need, plus it's not even that far away from our base. We've come a long way, but we still have a lot of work to do. I want to connect the village with my base so that I don't have to run through the forest with the fear that something will kill me. I decided to make a small house with a roof that will be connected in every direction of the world. For now, I'll just do it in the direction of the village, because that's our priority. I had problems with the lack of blocks, but we continue construction on day 58. Although the whole house is cobblestone, I tried to make it look as good as possible. I can edit it later, so write your ideas in the comments. One of the decisions I had to make was if I wanted the road to be made from cobblestone or oak planks. I eventually decided that would be a better option, so I got to chopping trees. I had so many trees that they grew faster than I could mine them. And if you decide to also try playing old Minecraft, remember that slabs don't work. I tried and broke both of my legs. After the whole day of bridging in one direction, I found a village. But it wasn't the one I found a few days ago. I'll have to figure that out tomorrow. Going back and cutting wood to get back would not be efficient, so I decided to chop wood from a side forest that I never go. After the whole day, we have 4 stacks of wood, which is enough for the second row of roads. You wouldn't believe me if I told you that the creeper tried to stop me by standing in the middle of my path. Well, that's what you get when you don't listen to me. Rest of the day I was placing hundreds of blocks with my poor middle finger. The road is so long, my finger will stop working very soon. I still have way too many blocks left for the fence so we don't fall. This may look like it's not difficult, but if I accidentally fall it won't end well. Trust me. On day 64 I was only missing 3 more stacks of blocks, but I had to go back because I had no food at all, and if I continue I will die of hunger, which is what I don't want. But another thing I don't want is to fully run out of all my materials, so next to mining and breaking stuff I also bred my animals with the leftover wheat. And yeah, that's all I really did. I still want to explore this world. In the desert near the village I found a zombie spawner that was literally out in the open. This is good if sometime in the future I want to have all 3 types of farms in my world. But besides that I didn't find many things, except for new biomes. Considering that I am close close to the village, I decided to start with the reparation, which I would definitely do sooner or later. The problem is that part of the village is on a hill, which will create some difficulties in arranging, but nothing is going to stop Lazarken. Even the other part of the village was in the water, so I had to take care of that as well. I quickly saw that this would require serious time to complete, so I decided to set up my base in one of the houses. In the end, I decided to make the roads on the water as bridges. Good idea, huh? Although it required time, it was not that difficult. At the end of the day, I even managed to make my way to the stairs that lead us home. Day 69, my favorite day. Not only did I manage to finish the paths, I also set up a fence around the village which makes it 5 times more safer. And of course I did not forget to put torches all around the town. Thank me villagers, I'm your hero. I am not wasting any time, so let's get to making a skeleton farm. This is probably the best farm we're ever going to build in this world since we get 3 useful things: bone meal, arrows and experience. Like, it couldn't be any better than this. Since it's in the desert, it will be a bit more complicated building it, but I will take my time. After 2 whole days of mining, placing water and doing all the stuff that had to be done, we had our skeleton spawner. It works great and I love it. But we still have to make this room look good, so after mining the shape we need to make an entrance since we are kind of stuck here if we don't. I also didn't mention that the skeleton spawner is in the first village we found. The second one we renovated a few days ago, and we will have to connect this spawner to both of them. Not gonna lie, the entrance began to look very good, and it's funny because it's entirely made out of cobblestone. And before we connect the paths, let's make this village safer by also putting fences around. The fence is done, but the village still looks bad, so let's quickly fix that. Everything was so uneven that I had to remove the well. The paths were easier to fix though. Day 75, I started mining through this hill that was bigger than I initially thought. And wow, it took so much time to mine through it, man, what the hell. I thought this would be a minute or 2 of work, but it was actually much harder and took a lot of time. For the rest of the day I improved the route a bit by adding stairs and went home. The new road that I plan to make to the skeleton farm and the village requires a lot of trees, so I spent the whole day in the tree farm. If you don't believe me that this road is extremely long, I'll just tell you that it's getting dark and I've just arrived at the location where I need to start to make the road. It's funny that building nice bridges was one of the most impressive things you could build back then. People had subways in their world. And now it's all a competition on who will make the biggest raid farm and all that. I'm still bridging, and that's maybe why I'm ranting about random topics. I was patient and finally connected the paths. I even managed to add a fence for my own safety. As a professional YouTuber on day 80, I forgot to turn on the recording, but I didn't do anything that important except making a shortcut from the village to the bridge. Considering that we are not that far from the end, I want to complete every achievement. We lost some achievements because the electric distribution company of my town decided to prank me on day 60. One of the first achievements I did was to make a cake. This was one of the easy ones considering that I had everything I needed in one place. I also did the achievements that require fishing and grilling fish. And now one of the most difficult, which requires us to fall in a hole while riding a pig for 20 blocks. The biggest problem with this achievement was that I had to kill most of my pigs in order to be able to function at all. And in Nether, the only thing left is to hit the gas with his fireball. When I came back, it was already nighttime and I took the opportunity to complete Sniper Duel achievement. I tried, but I couldn't. So while we wait for night, it would be smart to begin preparing the On a Rail achievement. It's done by traveling 1000 blocks on a rail. Which seems easy, but it is easy. Just takes a strong hit on all the minerals I had previously. Placing rails was the only thing I did that day. Like, oh my god, is there even an end? Luckily there was, and I finished the rail after 2 whole days of placing rails. And when you think, oh, finally you've done the achievement, you're very wrong. Near the end of traveling 1000 blocks, I kind of messed up the rail and now I have to try tomorrow. Oh my god, Creeper, please don't see me. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Oh my god, I can't believe it's actually over. This useless achievement took so much of my time, and considering that we have completed all the achievements that are done during the day, we can find the stronghold. I only have 3 ender pearls and I hope that will be enough to find it. And actually the stronghold was quite close. Very nice day, I made an entrance so we can easily find it. And to mark the place without using coordinates, I used my enchanting table which is visible from a big distance. One bad thing I found is that Sniper Duel is not possible to do. This is a bug and it was fixed only in version 1.2. Although it was definitely time to go and kill the dragon, but before that we have to prepare well. On day 88, the only thing I did was murder skeletons for arrows, and with the XP I got, I spent the whole day trying to get the best 30 level enchant I could on my sword. I got sharpness 3, which is quite good for the dragon. On day 90 I got some basic stuff such as blocks, food and a bow. I was doing all that so I could spend the night gathering ender pearls, and I did that the whole night. But we still don't have enough ender pearls, so I decided to go ahead and gather full diamond armor while we wait. When I got back I slapped every enderman I came across. They are a bit easier to kill in this old version, but still, I'm the boss, you are not. Next day was spent joking around and making a few potions so I look cool, to be honest. Both to me, and you know that I'm not going to use any of them. Day 93 to day 98 were just spent running around killing stuff and then exploring everything I could. And look, we are actually near the end. Let's go and slay this guy. I knew this would be easy. Even though endermans were boring and tried attacking me, I was slowly exploding every ender crystal, which took me only 3 minutes. And now dragon, you are next. Both my sword and bow were used and slowly but surely I was closer and closer to killing the dragon. And bang, you are done, dragon. Next to XP I didn't forget to take the dragon egg, so let's go back home now. With the help of all materials and minerals I had, I made a trophy where I will place the dragon egg. I placed it on a platform so that it will be visible from a height, and it looks perfect. As the sun sets on these 100 days in old Minecraft, I saw the world I shaped with my own hands. The challenges I've conquered and the creativity that ignited. Maybe old Minecraft isn't as full with things to do, but that's what makes it special. Being creative and open-minded. That's it for this one, bye.